Hello people, this is Ryder here to review the Ultraman Blazar Blazar Stone Set 02. I should stop saying this set. It's just Blazar Stone 02. I don't know why it's such a tongue twister. Anyways, this is the second this is the second set of Gashapon Blazar Stones that got released early August. To which, as you can see, the lineup here, but we will just pull up the pamphlet like so, because obviously these are always helpful and such. So, as you can see, the pamphlet right there, and as you can see, Taro being the main one there, but yeah, that makes sense. So this lineup comprises of Taro, Zophie, Cosmos Luna mode, I'm going to assume just a standard mode, Grigio, and Fuma. And the rares, just like the first set, comprise of the glitter versions of Taro and Zophie. Obviously, I skipped out on them because I don't feel they're necessary. Let's take them out of their traditional Gashapon packaging. Alright, so here we have the entire set out, but before we do that, here's the pamphlet for the set, because I think looking back at the footage from a few months ago, I did not take a look at it. So, again, I'm not going to go through the lineup because we already went through it briefly. So, it's the same thing, they just replaced Taro there. I don't know, it's kind of unfortunate they don't do much with Gashapon pamphlets anymore. It's kind of upsetting. But, anyways. Well, I mean, okay, now looking at this, apparently I don't have the lineup correct. But I'm pretty... Yeah, we don't have the lineup correct. We switched it. Oh well. So... Here, we'll just move these off to the side and get this back to how we originally had it. So here's Zophie. They made him purple, which is interesting, and I feel like this is necessary to do. But here's a comparison with Ultraman. So basically, what I can say what they did, they just enlarged it and made this detail a bit thicker as opposed to this upper detail. And they, like, again, I feel like they basically thickened certain details and enlarged it. And as you can see, like here, like the mouth part here is a bit more pointier. And they just thickened it up here. So yeah, Zophie, they just thickened up Ultraman. And then Jack is a lot more... There's not really a point to compare Jack, but as you can tell from here, their portraits are really somewhat similar, but like, again, Zophie's just thicker. And the eye is a lot more, like, somewhat more narrower. Because you can tell it's going down here as opposed to, like, Jack going like that. It's kind of sad I have to do these comparisons, but, like, just to point out to people, they actually did take in the time to actually make them different. And he is V027. Here is Taro, who is red yet again, luckily, because I feel like Taro makes sense of being red. Because I think he's been blue the last 2 times. V032. And this is where I got it wrong, because Cosmos and Justice are not supposed to be covered right away. But here is Cosmos Luna mode. which obviously has the light blue. Again, Cosmos works really well here. It's just because of the nature of this set, it gets confusing. V064. And then here we have Justice, to which they just specify as Justice. So it's, I think we're supposed to assume it's Crusher mode or stand. I think they've been moving on to actually using standard mode. But Justice is yellow, which is interesting because Justice, I think, used to be represented with red. At least going off of the Ultra Replica version of their card. But Justice is pretty neat here. V067. And then these are the two that were supposed to be first. So here is Grigio. To which she is orange, which is neat. I thought she was the same shade as Jack. But she is orange, which absolutely works. It's kind of funny we got her before Rosso in blue. To which is why she is V123. But, you know, just glad she's here. And then last but not least, we have Fuma. Our first of the Tri-Squad. V129. And it's cool that Fuma's here, but like, I feel like them throwing Cosmos and Fuma together just honestly makes things confusing. Because they're the same. Oh wow, they're not the same shade of blue. That's actually cool. Oh wow. If you can look here, like, Cosmos is actually a lot more darker, which is actually pretty neat. But I don't know if... Oh, okay. So, he's the same shade of blue as Ginga. But what about... Oh, wow. So that means Fuma is the same shade of blue as Zet. Wow. They've actually really tried with their different shades of blues. Wow, let's use these in the Blazar race. So basically, I think we should know what to expect with these first four. But besides that... Standard standby. Here's Zophi's Rise. Obviously doesn't align with the animation. Zophi's is always one of my favorites. It's just sound-wise. And his grunt, which is different. But obviously it's just because it's a variation. And obviously we only do the one for the rest of them. So here's Taro. There he is. Taro. And obviously our iconic Taro. Grunt. Cosmos. Obviously there's Cosmos, Luna modes, Rise, and no attack. Justice. Obviously there's Justice, Rise. There's Juggler's Juggler. And then obviously, because Grigio is a new generation, we will actually get something. So there we actually have Asahi's we actually have an Asahi phrase, but for some reason we have Roso's standby. But they didn't give her a unique animation, nor transformation sound. Which is weird because the D Flasher actually properly gave her her transformation sound. And now we're back to not having one. So obviously because she is a new generation Ultra, she will actually have more than one singular sound. So there we have the Grigio Shield Charge, which was first actually introduced with the D Flasher, so thank you. Yeah, because that's the phrase she said before she became Grigio. What was I going to say? Last but not least, Fuma. So there we have Hiroyuki calling out for Fuma and the standby for the Taiga Spark. But obviously the animation does not work out. But we still have up to 3 sounds. So there we have Fuma's finisher. To which, just like what they did with Zet, they actually did split up Hiroyuki's phrase and such. So this basically shows us how the Taiga stones are gonna go and such. So overall, I really like the set overall. I think especially because of the weird oddity they decided to do of just giving us some new generation heroes. So it does at least give this set some merit. But again, I like how they're sectioning off these like pairings and such. Because obviously we have our 2 Ultra Brothers that they obviously have to do for the variants and such. Then we have 2 Ultras that actually are correlated. And then again, our new generation stones for the set. To which obviously these 2 actually do make sense because they're both 050 Ultras and such. And yes, it is weird of just them. They're pretty weird with how Titus, Fuma, and Grigio are, because it's like they are a part of the new generation, but they're not the title character. So they kind of just do whatever to them, which is weird, but I mean, I guess I get it. But I'm just happy that Grigio's actually here and not a Gashpon, like, rare, like how she was in Zet. That was atrocious. I luckily do have her, but, like, it made her stupidly expensive. And, like, obviously, like, Zophie's situation, I mean, just how they handle these ultras is just kind of funny. Like, and again, it's cool to have justice here. Just because some other auxiliary, I guess, ultras are unfortunate to not be out right now, or to not have been released in this manner. But yeah, basically because of everything, all the things I brought up, this is the hardest Gashpon set to obtain for some reason because people really want these 2 stones. So you're gonna have to pay at lowest like $18 for this set. You're gonna have to pay up Because I think highest this set goes for is like 25, so it's not too bad of a price hike. But at the same time, it just doesn't make sense. I don't get why people like. I get that Grigio and Fumo are really popular and such, but I feel like it doesn't mean that you have to hike up the price for the entire set. Because then it sucks for Zophie, Taro, Cosmos, and Justice because they get bundled into these expensive lots, all because of two particular stones. But I mean, again, this always happens. Like this always happens to at least one of these sets that always happen and such. But I just advise for you just to get the set as cheap as possible, and obviously through like proxy services because you're not going to see this anywhere else. But yeah, that'll have to do this review. This is Ryder, now leave people. Almost said rebuy again.